At Downton Abbey, there's no telling when someone will decide you're better off dead, and sometimes that someone is the actor themselves. Dan Stevens was one of Downton Abbey's original stars. He played Matthew Crawley for 3 seasons, and he seemed to be well on his way for more. Matthew and Lady Mary Crawley were newlyweds, and she'd just given birth to their son George. And then this happened. Stevens' exit from the show made for one hell of a Christmas special, but it completely devastated fans. For the actor, though, the decision to leave was the right thing for his career. He told The Telegraph that it came from a desire for freedom. His initial contract was up, and he wanted to do something other than period dramas, so he wound up moving from the UK to the US in order to pursue more interesting roles. In 2024, he told Business Insider, "There was a real openness to see actors try things that they've not necessarily been seen in before over here, and that was very, very appealing to me." In the years since Downton, Stevens has done just that. His chosen roles have been wildly different from one project to the next, from a schizophrenic mutant in FX's Legion, to a US vet with deep secrets in The Guest, to a creepy German resort owner in Cuckoo. And Kong fans can look forward to Stevens reprising his role as Trapper in 2027's Godzilla x Kong Supernova. Dan Stevens' exit was surprising to both fans and series creator Julian Fellowes, who told Vanity Fair that he only found out just before Season 3 had started filming. But Fellowes did know about another star's planned leave, Jessica Brown Findlay, who played Lady Sybil Crawley for 3 seasons. Her character's death, as a result of complications from childbirth, had been planned all along.
This is eclampsia. Please breathe, love. Please.
According to Fellowes, Findlay had told him from the beginning that she was going to leave after her 3-year contract was up. Findlay herself told Radio Times, "I didn't want to fall into my comfort zone too much. My contract was ending and I was unsure about signing away another year, leaving me terrified, and that's what made me want to do it." But had Fellowes known about Stevens' plans sooner, Season 3 of the show might have played out a little differently. He explained, "I probably would have killed Matthew and Sybil together in a car crash." Findlay's goal of pushing herself creatively has worked out in the time since she left Downton. She's had starring roles in the fantasy romance Winter's Tale, the sci-fi horror Victor Frankenstein, and the series adaptation of Brave New World. Lady Mary just doesn't seem to be lucky when it comes to love. A few years after the death of her first husband, Mary moved on to husband number 2, Henry Talbot, played by Matthew Goode. Henry was first introduced in the Season 5 Christmas special before becoming a recurring character in Season 6. He also appeared in the first Downton Abbey movie. But between then and 2025's The Grand Finale, it seems as though he's left Mary behind. It's revealed in the film's trailer that the pair have divorced. Goode's exit from the franchise didn't necessarily have anything to do with the likability or unlikability of his character. The actor just happens to be really busy. He told Radio Times that his absence from the 2 most recent films were both due to scheduling conflicts. He was unavailable for A New Era due to filming The Offer, while Department Q interfered with the grand finale. He further explained, "I also buggered my knee and I had to have an operation. That takes weeks to get over, so I was never going to be able to do it. And let's face it, Henry was edging towards becoming a bit of a wet lettuce, so maybe it's a good thing."
Are we gonna see you? Are we not gonna see you? No.
Goode's been on a roll career-wise. He's appeared in multiple projects every year since the 2019 movie. And if you happen to be a Downton Abbey fan who also loves a fun vampire flick, you can catch both Goode and Dan Stevens in 2024's Abigail. Rose Leslie played Gwen Harding, one of the housemaids at Downton Abbey during the first season of the show. Gwen left after being offered a job as a secretary, although she did return for a single episode in Season 6 after having married a businessman named John Harding.
Mrs. Harding used to work here.
What?
She used to be a...
Thank you, Mr. Barrow. I can tell it.
For Leslie, the choice to leave the show wasn't her doing, exactly. Gwen's arc had come to a natural end. She told Access Hollywood, "I always knew that my character would have a happy ending at the end of it all. Leaving Downton Abbey didn't come as a shock, but it was fantastic. I loved it." Leslie's time on the show opened some huge doors. Game of Thrones co-creator David Benioff had seen her on Downton and liked her northern accents thing.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Leslie's casting as Ygritte was a breakthrough for her career and personal life. She married her co-star Kit Harington in 2018. In recent years, Leslie has had starring roles in several TV series, including The Time Traveler's Wife and Vigil. She's next set to appear in the miniseries The Hack. Jimmy Kent was brought in as a footman at Downton Abbey partway through season 3. Flirtatious by nature, he found himself in trouble a couple of times, most notably after having become the object of Thomas Barrow's affections. Jimmy is fired from the house after he's caught in a compromising position with his former boss, Lady Anstruther.
There's a fire. Well, I'll see you both downstairs.
When production began on the first Downton Abbey film, Ed Speleers, the actor who portrayed Jimmy, confirmed that he wouldn't be returning. Not only was he busy working on another project, but Jimmy's story was pretty well finished. During an appearance on Sunday Brunch, he said, "I didn't get the call, unfortunately. To be fair, I'm doing Rain Man, so I wasn't able to do it. I don't think it would be right for my character to come back anyway."
No, because I felt my journey was...
Your bit was done.
My journey was complete,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And Speleers has been busy. Aside from his Rain Man theater tour, he's landed roles in a number of well-known TV series, including Outlander, You, and Star Trek Picard. Sarah O'Brien was a major character for 3 seasons of the show, and she wasn't exactly well-liked. From scheming to gossiping to causing Lady Cora Crawley's miscarriage, O'Brien definitely left her mark on Downton Abbey's inhabitants. But prior to season 4, Siobhan Finneran, the actor who played O'Brien, announced she wouldn't be returning to the series.
Sarah O'Brien, this is not who you are.
Finneran had a couple of reasons for wanting to leave Downton. She'd only signed a 3-year contract, and she'd fallen out of love with it. She told the Daily Mail, "I had great fun doing it, but I just didn't want to do it anymore. I decided this before we even did the last series. When I stop loving something, I stop doing it." Gareth Neame, one of the show's executive producers, confirmed to Today that the entire decision was Siobhan's, but Finneran has kept busy since her departure, primarily sticking to the small screen. She's had roles in shows like The Lock and The Stranger, but she's best known for playing Claire Cartwright on Happy Valley. Cara Theobold played kitchen maid Ivy Stuart for 2 seasons, beginning in season 3. Ivy gets involved in a love triangle of sorts. She has feelings for Jimmy, while another footman, Alfred Nugent, has feelings for her. At the end of season 4, Ivy gets the opportunity to begin a new life as a cook in America and leaves Downton behind. Downton Abbey was Theobald's first big role. She told The Independent that she hadn't even done a professional audition before landing the job. But she also wanted the opportunity to branch out. She explained, "You sort of live there and feel you are of that world, and being in that nurturing environment gave me a lot of confidence. But I was really happy to do 2 series and use that as a platform." Ivy's story came to an end. She was a character who wanted much more from life. She wasn't satisfied.
I want a life that's fun.
Wish I was more like you.
The show wound up launching Theobald's career. She hasn't stopped working since she left and has had roles in everything from TV series like Absentia to films like Around the Sun. But a lot of her work is done in a sound booth. She's voiced characters in multiple video games. Thomas Howes was one of the show's original cast members. He played William Mason, a sweet footman at Downton Abbey who falls in love with kitchen maid Daisy Robinson. She, unfortunately, does not share his feelings. When the war breaks out, William is enlisted, and he joins the military as Matthew's soldier servant. And it's to save Matthew in season 2 that William throws himself in the line of fire and winds up taking on fatal injuries. He does manage to marry Daisy before he dies, though.
He doesn't need you no more, Daisy. He doesn't need none of us no more.
Howes' exit from the show wasn't because of any personal reason on the actor's part. It was just time for his character to leave. Which isn't to say that his fellow cast and crew members weren't sad to see him go. Howes told the Daily Mail that Phyllis Logan, who played Mrs. Hughes, was in floods when they read the script. Before he was cast on Downton, Howes was a theater actor, and he's continued to appear on stage after leaving the TV series. On screen, he's most recently been featured in Gentleman Jack, Jack the Ripper, Written in Blood, and The Coral. Ethel Parks was brought into Downton Abbey as a housemaid in season 2, but it wasn't long before she found herself in trouble. She was caught in an affair with Major Charles Bryant, who had come to the home as a wounded soldier in need of care. Ethel was fired, but she'd become pregnant, and Charles refused to have anything to do with the baby. By the end of season 2, Charles had returned to the front line and died, and Ethel attempted to get his parents to help care for the baby. When they agreed to take the child under the condition that Ethel not be involved in his upbringing, she chose to keep him. That should have been the end of Ethel's storyline, and Amy Nuttall, the actor who played the character, was sure it would have been. But as she told Metro, Julian Fellowes felt there was more to do. Nuttall said, "I was told that was it, so it was a very nice welcome surprise phone call that I received last year to say that writer Julian Fellowes felt he hadn't quite finished the storyline off. Ethel and Nuttall returned in season 3 with Isabel Crawley discovering she had taken up sex work in order to survive. Ethel does eventually allow the Bryants to raise her son, and she ends her time on the show for good, having taken a position nearby to be close to him.